Hey guys, I'm the Drink Pro. Today I'm drinking the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof version B520. What's up guys, Drink Pro here, Kyle. Thanks so much for joining me. I've got a really fun one today, but before I go too far, I wanted to let you all know I've got Glencairn glasses available now. Reach out to me however you can. I'm on all social media, the Drink Pro at gmail.com. If you want a glass, reach out to me, let me know. We can make it happen because I have them available now. Today I'm trying an Elijah Craig product. I love the Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs, but I just got my hands on the B520. I've seen several different reviewers on YouTube do B520 reviews. I didn't watch any of them on purpose. Not because I don't want to watch them, I absolutely will. I love seeing the flavor notes from some of these guys, but I don't want to be influenced by those notes. I want to try this totally pure, totally on my own, and then let you know if I agree with them or not. We can watch those videos side by side if you'd like, and see if I agree with their notes or not. As you can see, this bottle is unopened. This is going to be a fresh crack, which definitely affects the flavor, but I'm sure we'll be able to get some good notes anyway. Let me see if I can get an opening sound. Here we go. Oh, that was disappointing. This is not wanting to come off very nicely. There we go. You ready? Oh, that's a good one. B520. Now, this, I don't know if you noticed, has a different label. They're throwing me off here, but I don't think it's a bad decision because if you look at the old labels, it was a lot more difficult to tell that it was barrel proof whiskey, in my opinion. I think these new labels really stand out compared to the old labels. It's still very subtle, it's the same general vibe, but it looks unique. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple of these other ones and we'll do side by sides and see how we feel. The big winner of my Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Challenge was the B519, so I want to compare that to the B520. I'm also going to bring out the A119 and the C919. I've got the A119, the B519, the C919, and skip the A120 because it was not my favorite. It was one of my least favorite in my barrel proof taste test, and I bring in the B520. Can it compete with some of my favorites? The B520 is 63.6%, which is relatively low compared to some of these other pours, which are in the high 60s. Now this is the neck pour, so it's a little sharper than some of the others might be. But I get this definite classic vanilla caramel note. The really sharp fruity notes. I get a lot of lemon. It's almost like lemon cleaner, except not as harsh, but it's got that really sharp lemony note, that high citrusy note. I actually get a little coconut on this, which I never get. I never get coconut from anything. Like fresh coconut shavings, just a hint of that on the B520. On the nose initially, I don't get any oak really. And that's pretty consistent with what I've got from the B519. I think the B's and the A's and the C's, they try to all kind of stay in the same vibe. And the B's didn't give me a lot of that deep woodiness, if my memory serves me, last time I tried them. Definitely get that high rye note. Definitely get that grain note on the nose, that high sharpness. Very sweet, very corn. Let's give it a taste. I like how the wood presents in this pour, a lot. You get a sharpness and a dryness in the mid-palate that definitely lets you know it's been in oak for a while. It's got that woodiness for sure, but it doesn't become really prominent until the very end. It comes in at the very end of the palate and just shows you this very nice, fresh wood, fresh oak quality. Oh man, and then going back to the nose after tasting it, tons of baking spice. The cinnamon and clove show up. I get a chocolate note as well. Like a butter pecan, butter pecan, whatever. The initial pour drinks hotter than I would expect it to, a little bit more bitter than I would expect it to as well in the mid-palate, but it kind of goes away into the finish where you get that woodiness again. The wood really lingers on this in a great way. It just continues, it just stands there for a while. This, as hot as this is in certain aspects, there's no way this drinks like 63.6%. I've had 55% alcohol whiskeys that drink hotter than this. Very interesting pour, really like where it's going. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, try the rest of these. I'm not gonna give you a lot of flavor notes on these other ones. I've done that in a couple different videos now. I really just want to do a comparison and see, do I feel like the 520 stands up to these others? So let's start with the C919. Now this one's gonna be hotter. This is 68.4, but it's been open for a while. See, the sweetness on the front of the palate in the C919 is way narrower. It's a narrow, sharp sweetness, almost a fruitiness, and the woodiness is just non-existent compared to the 520 in my opinion. There's a little bit there, you kind of can pick it up in very, very subtle notes, but it just doesn't have the oomph of the 520. And it lasts a lot longer. The finish is much longer on the 520. Let's try the 520 next to the B519. Now, the nose is much quieter, but again, this is an open bottle. It's been open for a while, so what are you going to expect? Oh, wow. Now, the B519 is 61.1% compared to the 63.6% on the B520. It's much, much quieter. It's got this real, wonderful, sweet, like creme brulee caramel nose, almost a maple syrup even, maybe. The notes are a lot quieter and more muted on the 519, but it really feels more balanced. It feels like the journey is gentle but well structured. It doesn't jolt you anywhere, which for a barrel-proof whiskey is damn near impossible to meet. Oh, right away, 519 to the 520, I can really see the breadth of the flavor at the beginning of the 520, and the woodiness is much broader. Oh, wow. I know there are some big personalities in whiskey that did not care for the 520, but I'm getting some interesting boldness in fun ways that I don't pick up in the C919 or the B519. It's kind of unfair to compare this neck pour to these others that have been open for a while, but this A119 has not been open that long. So let's give it a taste next to the B520. Now the A119 is often considered one of the best in recent history of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. And I gotta tell you, the nose is way broad sweet caramel. The B520, like I said, is 63.6 and the A119 is 67.6. 4% higher. Not that much higher in the grand scheme of things, but it shows up, man. It's got this really sharp sweetness. It stings the nostrils a little bit, to be honest with you. But it's very fruity. It's a lot fruitier, in my opinion, than the B520. The B520 is sweet honey baking spice creme brulee. Whereas the A119, I get citrus, vanilla, maybe even some red raspberries. All right, let's taste it. See, it's so narrow. The berries don't really show up on the palate the same way they do on the nose. And the sweetness is really narrow. The B520, I get a broader sweetness, a lot more woodiness. I think the finish on the B520 might be my second favorite. The B519, I really like the finish because you get woodiness, back to the sweetness, back to the woodiness. It does this back and forth fun thing. But the B520 has this really interesting broad woodiness that doesn't overpower you. I always have a problem with really woody whiskeys because it feels like they're overpowering and almost astringent and just unpleasant. But this B520 doesn't do that. It has a really woody quality at the finish, but it just envelops your whole mouth, and it lingers in the best way possible. It's not overpowering, it's not overbearing, and it doesn't go away too quickly, and it doesn't leave you wanting to wash your mouth out and get something different. You could sit with this B520 for a while. Of the four I've tasted, the B520 is the least refined to start. It's very broad, it's very sharp, it's very unwieldy. But the finish on it is one of the best I've had. And if you like a woody finish on your whiskey and you don't mind a sharpness in a broad sense on the initial tasting, the B520 is a great option. I think that with some time open, this B520 will really evolve because my biggest complaint about it is this sort of unwieldy sharpness. I love how broad it is, and hopefully, that breadth will remain as the bottle stays open, and I'll still have this large, broad, delicious, sweet flavor, and I will lose a little bit of the sharpness, a little bit of that unhinged quality that I'm getting, I think, from a new bottle being opened. The B519 I still think is the winner of all of these. It's so wonderfully balanced and sweet and delicious. It does miss that big, bassy, broad finish of the woodiness of the B520, though. If you really like a big, bold finish, the B520 might be a good option for you. If you still like aggressive notes, broad notes, and sharpness in your barrel-proof whiskey, the A119 has the most balance without losing that quality. But the B519 to me still might be my favorite because it's so well balanced, and I don't really crave or seek out that super aggressiveness that comes from a lot of barrel-proof whiskeys. I think that's all the time I have. I gotta go get dinner. I just drank a shitload of barrel-proof whiskey and didn't even realize it, so you know I'm gonna have a good night. In the meantime, you all keep drinking like professionals. Cheers.